Yeah, I got excited about it, but I'm a dumbass. Stay cool. Hit the button, baby. This is a Thor News presentation. Thor News presents. Well, I got bad news for our date, baby. It's only 5 o'clock in the afternoon Texas time, and I'm still ornery. It's like a mix between the Hulk and Wolverine. For weeks now, I've been seeing people slamming anti-vaxxers. And I'm like, alright, what the fuck are y'all talking about? As far as I know, 4 people died of measles last year, and anti-vaxxing is such a minor problem that all the discussion it gets in the media, which I would say would be like 20% of the media in the last few weeks, has been about anti-vaxxing. So to see 1,000 articles, I just saw someone call anti-vaxxers reckless. Might I remind you, the roof is on fire. I broke down the national debt many times. You really start in 1971 when Nixon depegged the dollar from gold, and then the credit card explosion began in the 80s. And when the debt got so bad, they got rid of Glass-Steagall, which prevented savings and loan banks from also being investment banks, meaning they were allowed to gamble with your deposits, something they had no ownership over. And from there we got 2008, and now we're in a perpetual bailout, quantitative easing, 0% interest rates economy. Damn genius, man. 2009, after I read that the Roman Empire in its 800 years never went below a 3% interest rate. Once I read that fact, 2009, I realized, holy crap, financial gravity will keep interest rates at 0%. If you understand the entire interest rate, debt credit default swap, leveraging system, and guess what? 6 years later, I'm a kid who went to film school, pretty much self-taught everything. I am in the category of the most correct of all economists on the interest rates in my 6-year prediction. You can't have gotten interest rates more correct than I have. It's impossible. So every time, since 2009, someone said, hey, when are they going to raise interest rates? I said, never. And guess what? They never have. 6 years later. For all the people who are like, you dumb, or last night I was engaging with Democrats who were trying to explain to me how Republicans are evil when it comes to money, against my theory that Democrats and Republicans are both corrupt and evil when it comes to money. And debt. They blocked me, called me a troll. And I tried to explain, hey, you were trying to tell people that only Republicans are irresponsible and reckless with our money. Let me correct you some facts. Bill Clinton got rid of Glass-Steagall. Interest rates were lowered to 0% under Barack Obama. The Federal Reserve spent $5.5 trillion in quantitative easing from 2009 to 2014. The Democrats have been just as the national debt we are staring at right now. You see, here it says U.S. total debt about $60 trillion. And let's go down to the currency and derivatives market. What is that, 682 trillion? Yeah. 682 trillion. The CDS market is reported to be as high as $1.5 quadrillion. Do you know what credit derivatives are? They're apropos of nothing. But if their wick was ever lit, we'd end up with something new. So I'm saying, since 2000 really, I've heard Republicans and Democrats fighting over marriage, gay marriage. I think we all know, subconsciously, that government shouldn't be involved in the love lives of adults with other adults in any way. A church or a government doesn't have the right to tell you which adult you can or can't fall in love with. Did you know that? Yeah, it's true. Now you can take your Quran, you can take your Bible, you can take your state representative and say, hey, these people shouldn't fall in love. Well, I'm gonna tell you, buddy, it's none of your business. And it doesn't hurt anybody else. And it is driven us to a place where there's not a whole lot of love now, anywhere. So anytime I see two adults that are in love, I think they're lucky, and I wish them well, 'cause I hope to find someone that I love someday. And I know it's almost as hard as finding a winning lottery ticket. So why would I ever try to impede anyone else's choice of who they choose to spend their time with? That is as anti-American as you can get. If you can't see that by allowing government and religion to get involved in your relationships, that gives government power to tax you and control you, that gives religion power to drive you with fear into the pews, so you put 10% into the collection plate, and if you can't see how that adds a whole lot of jobs for lawyers when people get divorced. And I'm a North Jedi Christian, and I know a lot of Christians, for some reason, think homosexuality is like one of the biggest sins in the universe, which to me is laughable. I know in the 15 years that they've been on this gay marriage thing, divorce is also considered a sin in the Bible. Even though Jesus talks about divorce way more than homosexuality. In the same time, divorce has been okay, but gays have been bad. Does that make any sense to you? Only God can judge. So why does anybody even care? And during that time we had Republicans be like, yes, Taliban brought down the towers, invaded Iraq. And that turned out to be a really horrible, shitty deal. So then Democrats step in power and are like, ISIS beheaded a guy. We must destroy them. So they really just switched places. Both of them fully support a bullshit war, which is helping us get to this national debt we're staring at. We spent $10 trillion on quantitative easing and war since 2001. You guys are talking about anti-vaxxers. That means you probably understand the world less than your child does. Our national debt has the power to be vulnerable and trap the whole world in a lawless situation. Hyperinflation, currency collapse, credit freeze, call it what you want. The money printers have been reckless and irresponsible for about 30 years. 40, 43 technically, 44 if you want to get to fiat currency that the dollar became in 71. So nobody's talking about how stupid and irresponsible it is for America to go after the gang of ISIS because they beheaded a few people and destabilized Iraq. I mean, do you understand how ironic that is? That America's mad that somebody else destabilized Iraq. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, man, it's like only I can beat my wife. Someone gotta beat my wife. Someone go beat him up. It's like, what? Dude? And I swear, helicopter parents who created the millennials. That's how they trapped you, man. You live and die for your child. Do everything you can to avoid them getting hurt in any way. But through them, the banks and your government have been blackmailing you, blackmailing your mind. As long as their kid's happy and they're happy, and everybody has a roof over their head and you need, that's all they need to worry about.
You don't need to ask the government. It's not there.
Stay cool. This is a Thor News presentation. Hey, if you don't shut up, I shall fireball your face. Thor News presents.